Hello, y'all. I am back with part two, talking about situations with psychopaths. So, I ended that last video explaining how this particular mentor, that was a lady that was in defense of the undiagnosed psychopath, ended up just randomly coming to the freaking school to pick my relative up. And fortunately, my relative knew not to go and did not go with that lady. However, she obviously lacks boundaries, right? Because we didn't take her service. So don't go up there and pick somebody's minor up, their child, their son. Don't do that. But this is what happened. And so I was really happy about the situation of just not taking the services. So going back to the robbery thing, and nobody was hurt, y'all. There was no weapons pulled. I mean, you could call it punk shit or whatever. I teach my relatives just run and walk away. We're not armed. We don't have a gun. We just don't. I mean, there's this one little segment of this teenager, this little girl that's leading these other young men to do these robberies and stuff. She don't even live over here no more. She's moved. She was in a stolen car committing these robberies. The police was involved. The management office called the police. They actually seen my two relatives being robbed, so the police kind of swooped in on it pretty quick. So it's a blessing to be in an area where the police do come. So it was resolved. However, going back, the undiagnosed psychopath does not live here anymore. I tried my best to work with the particular situation. The thing is with and this is going to be an interesting conversation. And one of my relatives asked me, well, mom, why do you still talk to him? I said, you know what? It won't help him to not have me in his life. He's young. And remember, my beliefs are this is a man or a young person that needs more of God in his life. And that's the bottom line. There's a lack of remorse, lack of conscience, bitterness, and things like that. I mean, y'all got to go back to when y'all was young. However, I know how to deal with a undiagnosed psychopath or a psychopath and still protect myself. Okay? And when I say protect myself, I don't mean physically. I mean, they got issues. They trying to give people drugs in the family. They a backstabber. They got snake behavior. They really don't like you and can't always explain what somebody's did to them. So just keep the space. I mean, it may not be a good idea if y'all are in the same domain or house. It may not be an idea if you visit each other too often. Just take your space or whatever. But another thing, y'all, I got a heart. And one thing about this undiagnosed psychopath, in general, he knows that I love him and always will. And why would I want to make the condition worse? Okay, that's the thing. You want to make it better. That's how people get killed too. Now the psychopath, his main leader and role model in his life has cut him off completely. Now he's out there chopping up toes. This is all preventable. Just keep a relationship with your family, y'all. It's not our position to make the psychopathy worse. Let's make it better. Let's make it to where this person can grow up and watch this video when I'm dead and gone and say, boy, I'm glad I ain't that psychopath no more, or whatever. Let's hope for a good ending, keep hope alive. But going back to the robbery that happened, then ironically, Sunday morning, I'm on the phone with my relative that's an undiagnosed psychopath. This is what the so-called white man called him, y'all. And so go back to part one of we don't want to be hypocrites, you know. And do it the same way, y'all. If you're in court and your relative is white, okay, and the black man is calling your white relative a undiagnosed psychopath, you might want to listen. Don't say, oh, well, that black man called my relative a psychopath, and then you go off and call him the N-word. The black man don't mean no harm. He just trying to protect you and so you can get some help for the person. That's why they telling you. They really want y'all to get some freaking help so y'all not back in here for something worse. So going back to the conversation, so the robbery happened last Saturday. So then Sunday morning comes and I'm talking to my relative over the phone and I'm mentioning the robbery, and he mentions that those particular people rolled up on him and was asking him where's one of the relatives that ended up getting robbed like an hour to an hour and a half later. And I was like, wow, why would they feel so comfortable rolling up on you, asking you where your family is, while they kind of letting you know that they want to do some dirt to your family? Why would they feel so comfortable with you? And so the relative that's the undiagnosed psychopath said, well, because they know I don't like him, which is the other younger relative. And I said, oh, okay. I said, at least you admit to that, you know. Okay, I get you. But then it's just all suspicious because, an hour before the robbery, so it almost makes you think, was he part of it? I mean, because I couldn't picture, you know, I'm going to just speak for myself and my little sister. Somebody should know they can't just roll up on me, and they're actively letting me know they want to fuck my sister up, and they asking me where the hell she at. I'm just gonna speak for myself. I can't speak for my sister. Shit, maybe she would say, shit, that bitch right down there, go get her ass. I don't know. But I don't even think my sister would do that. I just don't. But I'm gonna speak for myself. And that's what y'all gotta start doing too. Speak for yourself. Because sometimes we speak for people and your relative, the undiagnosed psychopath, telling people they don't like you. But I would hope that my sister would have a better nature in her. But I'm just saying, for me, a person automatically would know that they can't alert me that they getting ready to rob my sister and think I'm going to tell them where the hell she at. And they ain't got an AK to my head saying, tell us where she at or you dead. You see the difference? They just rolling up, no weapons, no nothing. I know I'm not getting ready to get harmed, but they can just ask me where the hell my sister's at. That's just weird. So I was comparing it to that. And I don't think my little sister would just openly tell somebody where I'm at to come off me. I don't think she would do that to me, y'all. So I'm talking to my relative like, that's kind of strange. Like, they basically being open about they want to do something to your relative. Not no murder or nothing, but they saying they got ill will. Why do they feel comfortable asking you where your relative is at? And that's when he said he don't like them. Now, what do you do from here? And see, this is where, going back to part one, when I told you about the situation with my ex-narcissist and his brother. Okay, so probably somewhere along the way with my ex-narcissist and his younger brother that's in a full-blown no contact and has been since they were very, very young, somebody might have told them, you know, your brother don't mean you no good. I don't know. But like I said in part one, I can't retell that story. You got to go to part one. The first 15, 20 minutes of the video talks about that. I'm in agreement with that brother's decision now. I get it now. That empathetic part, I didn't understand it, but I get it now. So in this other case with my own family, he admits that he don't like the other relative that they're looking for. But I went over how this particular relative would get up to go look for him. I mean, just love. We didn't want him hurt. We didn't want nothing to happen to him. We know people go off on bad behaviors at certain parts in their or certain times in their life, not parts, well, parts of their life too, not just times, parts of their life. So that was like an awakening. And I'm gonna say this so-called white man in court, or whatever you want to call him, you want to compare him to more of the white race, when he said he's an undiagnosed psychopath, I promise you this. Since that has been said in the court of law, do you think that this particular relative has acted like anything other than a psychopath? No. That's why you got to stop this. Oh, well, a white man said it, a black man said it. Just because they're a different race than you and they tell you the freaking truth, take the information. So, also, what it does, it gives me understanding, when I look at this situation and I understand even the bluntness to say, I don't like somebody that borderline was risking their life to go out and find you and look for you. And this is another thing, y'all. You got to remember this. You're not going to do anything to make a psychopath or sociopath like you. Never forget that. No matter how nice you are, no matter how much money you give them, no matter how many times you there when they sick or they disabled or whatever, they're not going to like you. It's just not in them to like you. You saving somebody that inherently just won't like you. Y'all like oil and water. So what do? Well, it's different ways to do it. I mean, it's been a period of time. At this point, who are you protecting? That's what you got to first ask yourself. Oh, by the way, the undiagnosed psychopath also, not always, y'all. I'm sorry, I was going to say the wrong word. Also mentioned to me that he puts us forth. Now, you didn't heard the first, second, and third, y'all, but he said he put us forth. And a lot of this old crazy talk, I just kind of brush it off. Like, I just laugh. I say, oh, we fourth. Okay, whatever. So, how do you deal with these situations? What do you do? What you don't do is let your empathetic relative walk around unaware of their freaking surroundings. When somebody is an undiagnosed psychopath and sociopath, and they tell somebody that they don't like you, especially if that person is a leader in your life, and this is an actual psychopath, potential psychopath, or sociopath, the correct thing to do would be to make the masses aware. Only another psychopath keeps that shit a secret. When that undiagnosed psychopath says that they don't like their relative, you go tell their freaking relative. And you say, look here, you know the situation. I don't have nothing against them, but they don't like you. Stay the fuck away. Leave them the fuck alone. And this is why you tell them that. You know how many people been buried alive? Been taken out to the freaking woods with a crowd or a group of people standing around them while they tied the fuck up and they throw them in a ditch and bury them alive. I watch cases about that. And those are some of the most horrific cases. Those cases make me cry. So, you know, in the past, narcissistic relatives always made empaths feel very bad, or empathic people feel bad for basically being like what you call the family snitch, or they would call that shit favoritism. So, me going to tell the truth, hey, remember, this particular relative was there to hear him being called an undiagnosed psychopath. So this is not a secret. This particular relative was brought into a case behind this bullcrap. So the undiagnosed psychopath is going to consistently show you they don't like you. They showing you that they don't like you when they give you drugs for free. They showing you they don't like you when they take you out to the streets with them. They showing you they don't like you when they're setting a bad role model and example for you. They're showing they don't like you when they don't care if you live or die. They're showing you they don't like you when they're being abusive in the home environment, if you're in the home. They're showing you that they don't like you. They're showing you that they don't like you. However, once they say it, either to someone else or to you, and it's pretty clean and blunt, the question was, well, why would this group of people feel so comfortable asking you where your relative at? Because they know I don't like him. The undiagnosed psychopath, it's no need to ask him or her why you don't like them. I don't ask psychopaths stupid questions like that because they have no legitimate reason. I'm not going to ask an undiagnosed psychopath, well, why you don't like him or her? Their reasonings are never fully valid. And the reasons that they dislike a person are not the same as why you would like them or dislike someone. And the undiagnosed psychopath may have the inability to explain that part. And it's not because they're not intelligent. It's just there's no real reasoning behind it. And a lot of times, even if they try to explain why they don't like the person, a lot of times they're going to make up a lie, assassinate their character, and they're never going to acknowledge the love and regard that they have for them. The empathetic relative has for them. Like I mentioned, I watched it for myself. I watched it. I watched my relative get up. Let's go find him, mama. Let's go do this. Let's go see where he at, mama. Where is he at? And I just watched that play out. And what did I do? Did I tell? See, I'm beyond evidence. I'm beyond it. I may mention it at a later date. I may say, well, by the way, you gotta, with psychopaths, don't overwhelm the brain. So I may mention at a later date, that last conversation, I remember you said you didn't like your relative. However, I do remember I had even posted a Facebook post, y'all, saying how much he loved his relative. The empathetic relative that had me out here looking for him. I even posted a Facebook post complimenting the love that I could see he had for him. But what did he get in return? He got dislike. Open dislike. Somebody can roll up in a black SUV with tinted windows and ask this undiagnosed psychopath, where your family at, man? Where they at? I don't know what he said to him. You can't trust the undiagnosed psychopath, right? Remember the snake behavior. That situation is not recorded. However, this is the bottom line. The undiagnosed psychopath, before that robbery occurred, was aware that some people or someone was out driving around, potentially looking for this other relative. And so this was my next question that I asked the undiagnosed psychopath. I said, well, if you knew about that at 6 p.m. yesterday, that was Saturday. Remember, I'm on this call Sunday morning, early Sunday morning. I said, if that particular situation happened at 6 p.m., these people rolled up on you, I can believe at least that part. What that showed was that it at least was premeditated. So basically, that robbery was not just a crime of opportunity. They didn't just see my two relatives coming from the grocery store, wherever they were at, and just randomly rob them like I thought at first. Because Saturday, when we were talking to the police and stuff, I'm thinking, this is what I'm telling my relatives. Well, what probably happened is they just saw y'all coming from the store and just decided to do it, like a crime of opportunity. But once I talked to my undiagnosed psychopathic relative Sunday morning, and he confirmed something else, like, no, I was talking to these people yesterday around 6 p.m. So after he explains that, I asked this. I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, since you're telling me that happened, why didn't you alert us that someone was asking questions about our family? Why wouldn't you say or make some kind of contact with me and say, hey, these people rolled up on me about 6 p.m. And this is what the undiagnosed psychopath said. He said, well, I didn't have Wi-Fi. Okay, could be true because I don't pay for his phone bill anymore. And the reason, one of the benefits of why I don't pay that phone bill no more, y'all, is because I got so sick of the criminals that he was making contact with. And it felt like I'm like feeding bad behavior, like I'm enabling that. And plus, he don't need me to pay for it. He's a working individual now. I mean, you paying for stuff for psychopaths does not help them get their life on track. That's another key point I'm going to point out. Don't enable this bullshit, especially when they're young. I don't care how old they are. But one thing I could say, if they're not enabled when they're younger, maybe they could grow out of some of this stuff. So, I'm asking him, well, why didn't you alert us? He said he didn't have Wi-Fi. But check this out, y'all. This is one thing I do know. At the location he lives, and psychopaths, they think they so... they act like we can't process shit. I guess empathic people, I guess we like dumb as hell, huh? So I ain't say nothing. I'm like, okay, thanks for the information. I'm thinking in my mind. Whatever. I know what's up. So remember, that happened at 6. Do you honestly think the phone call I had was after 5 in the morning, Sunday morning? So we got from 6 p.m. Saturday, okay, to 5. I count on my fingers, y'all. 6, let me see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 11 hours. Wait, let me count them again. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 11 hours. I just did my finger counting. So call me slow, y'all, or whatever. I was not a math expert. So 11 hours, I'm thinking. When I got off that call, I'm like, wow. Because I already know the Wi-Fi thing is just to shut me down when he said he didn't have Wi-Fi. So that was just to shut me up. However, do you think this undiagnosed psychopath went without Wi-Fi for 11 hours? because from 6 p.m. they rolled up on them. Then by 5 p.m. we just happened to be talking that morning. See, that wasn't nothing but God, y'all. You see how the Lord work? Anything that the Lord wants you to know, our one God, that our one spiritual God that is over our entire universe, anything he wants you to know, or the Spirit of the Lord wants you to know, I'm not going to add gender to that, because we're not going to be referring to the Lord as a human, you know. So the Spirit of the Lord wants you to know, you're going to know it. And you're going to know it sooner than you think. So ultimately, in my opinion, when that undiagnosed psychopath says the words, the magic words, y'all, I don't like him, I don't like her, I don't like you, and there's some criminal behavior involved, this is what a true empathetic person would do. For one, it is not your position to always be protecting a psychopath or putting them first when they put no one else first. The same undiagnosed psychopath told us we come forth. That's fine. I don't care about coming forth to a psychopath. It means nothing to me. It may be in my best interest to come forth 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, if that makes sense. So, a true empathetic person would do this. Outside of this person being 5 years old, you alert that relative. See, you can alert somebody of something without causing family drama and turning somebody against somebody. The white man in court done already called him an undiagnosed psychopath. What you waiting on? Like, basically, okay, they have formally expressed they don't like you. Leave them alone. This is my advice to you. At this point, I will no longer bring this particular relative around the undiagnosed psychopath. It would be wrong at this point to do that. Not just for the relative that is unlike, but for the psychopath. This is why. If an undiagnosed psychopath or a diagnosed psychopath is telling you they don't like somebody, you already know how bad that can go. It's also unfair to the psychopath or undiagnosed psychopath to assist in them having bad feelings, because they experience enough of that on their own just waking up in the morning being an undiagnosed psychopath. So if you know the undiagnosed psychopath don't like somebody, why would you bring the person around them? It doesn't matter if the undiagnosed psychopath doesn't have a legitimate good reason. It doesn't matter that they dislike somebody that love the mess out of them. It don't matter. All that matters is the right thing to do. That's what narcissistic families do. Keep the undiagnosed psychopath and who they don't like and the person that had the empathy for them, keep them around each other till somebody gets hurt. As a true empath, I can't do that. It ain't right. It's so unfair to the person that used to get me up to go find the undiagnosed psychopath. But the problem with the undiagnosed psychopath, they don't give a fuck about what you did for them, because the part of the disorder is the conscious. It's almost like this. They forget kind of what you did. It's like not on display no more. What you did is just whatever. It's just not rocking no more. What's mattering to them is the current supply that they do have. And so A lot of times in these situations, another alert that needs to be taken is this undiagnosed psychopath that actually said they felt comfortable asking me because they know I don't like him. They may never tell, the undiagnosed psychopath may never tell the victim that loves him or her that they don't like them. They may never say those words. Even the undiagnosed psychopath saying it to me proves that my Lord is working for me and my family and for the psychopath. That's what it proves to me. It proves the love that the Most High has for us all and how the Lord is always trying to save everybody. And see, narcissistic families, a lot of psychopaths wouldn't be sitting up in prison right now. Because how many psychopaths told they honor uncle, they mother or father, they big cousin, they little cousin, they neighbor, they friend, I don't like such and such. I don't like him or her. And they kept putting the psychopath around somebody that the psychopath say they didn't like. And the reason they do it is, oh, well, they're such a good person to you, psychopath. And they kept bringing them fucking around them. I don't care if the psychopath said they don't like the toddlers in the family. These damn narcissists will keep bringing the toddler around these people. And more of these kids is getting killed by not just their mothers, their fathers. Because the other parent is letting the toddler go with the psychopath. And they done already told the parent that they hate that damn baby. I think I already may have uploaded the video. If I haven't uploaded it, I think I did, where I talked about a situation where this particular man told me he hated my baby when my baby was a young baby because he was upset that things didn't work out. And I think I've uploaded the video, but if I haven't, it's coming. And I talked about how that particular person, and I'm positive I uploaded it because I also mentioned in there that particular man had had a history and had a restraining order from his own son that he had beat up because his son had called his ex-wife a name. I mentioned that in one of the videos. I've already uploaded it. I'm positive. I think I uploaded it. And like I said, if I didn't, it's coming. I got so many videos I got to upload. So it's just not good for the psychopath. If the narcissist in the family would have accepted that the psychopath don't like the toddlers and then don't let the damn toddler children go with the psychopath, the toddler would be alive, whether it be a girl or boy, and the psychopath would not be in jail. So see, I'm not helping my psychopathic relative or the empathic relative and when I say empathic relative, I don't mean the other relative is an empath per se. However, he's high on empathy. Okay, he does. He has a lot of empathy and it's coming out more and more. However, I think when we did the empath test and all of that, he tested as a normal. But keep in mind this, y'all. Normal people, they are not high on narcissism and they're not super extreme on empathy. So this particular relative that would be considered, I guess you would say, a normal is not going to be so extreme on empathy like in the way I would. Because remember, I keep telling y'all this, being tested as an empath, you damn near as worse as the narcissist. You just good people. You just ain't trying to do some shit to really hurt people for real. Your intentions ain't to hurt, but as far as like the emotional aspect of it, if you don't have your emotions under control and you test as an empath, then you got a lot of different issues, y'all. So it ain't good. Okay, it's just not good. It ain't nothing to brag about. It means you are extreme and off damn balance. And I'm saying that about myself. However, I've learned this new word and term called logic, y'all. So logic will teach you and something else, anger management. Anger management and logic will help you navigate and not just be able to be an empath, but to be a beautiful person. So you alert the family. Treat that person like you would want to be treated. If somebody was an undiagnosed psychopath and they told you that they don't like me, and you know that they are meeting with people an hour before that empathic person gets robbed, you wrong as hell not to alert that empathic person of what the truth is. They deserve the truth. And if you don't tell them the truth, you're not a true empath, because to be a true empath, there's a truth seeker trait that comes out of you. To the point where I can't sleep at night knowing some shit like that. You gotta tell the truth to protect everyone involved. And I don't care if they brothers. I don't care if they cousins. I don't care if they're best friends. None of that matters. Because to allow someone, once the words are said, they say the words, y'all. They finally say the words, I don't like him, or I don't like her. Once those words are said, you just got to do the right thing. You do the right thing all across the board. Even when the other relative said, well, one of my relatives said, well, why do you even talk to him? Because it's the right thing to do. It won't help his condition get better if I don't talk to him. That's how you create Ted Bundys and Gary Ridgways and the Ohio serial killer and Travis Marcus, or whatever his name was. He was a serial killer that was running around St. Louis. The Ohio serial killer, he was a black man. Look up the black man, the Ohio serial killer. I was supposed to put some of that in a playlist, y'all. I gotta find that video too. I tried to be fair. I named 2 white serial killers, Ted Bundy and Gary Ridgway, and then the other Travis Marcus, I think his name is. He was the black serial killer in St. Louis, Missouri, and then there was the other black serial killer in Ohio. Let me look up his name so that way I can make sure I'm being fair here, y'all. I did this in another video. I should know these names by heart. And the reason I don't, it's not out of any favoritism or anything or racism. I've studied more on the Ted Bundy and Gary Ridgway cases because I live on the West Coast. So it's not like I'm remembering the white serial killer names and not the black ones. It's not that it's just I'm more concerned about the serial killers that's up in my neck of the woods. And let me see. Anthony Sowell. So Anthony Sowell is the black serial killer in Ohio. And then I think the other one named the St. Louis serial killer was Marcus. Yeah, let me see. Maury Travis, y'all. So it's Anthony Sowell and Maury Travis were the black ones, and then the white ones were Gary Ridgway and Ted Bundy. And yeah, so just being fair there. So yeah, you don't. A lot of these men were lonely, and their families weren't interacting with them on a regular because they had so many weird behaviors. I mean, a lot of their before they were even found to be serial killers, a lot of their relatives knew that they had very strange behaviors and were borderline in no contact. So that's what you do. You be honest and upfront, protect your empathetic relatives. Like sociopaths and psychopaths tell you, you fourth, fifth, sixth, or whatever. I was told that. So they're not first. That's how you deal with that. And you protect the family, including the relatives with sociopathy and psychopathy, and you just do the right thing and just be aware of your surroundings, ask questions. Don't be combative when you get the answer. I wasn't combative when I got the answer. And just do the right thing. And treat somebody like you would want to be treated. I would want somebody to tell me that they didn't like me so I could protect myself, especially if it's somebody that I love so much and was going out to find and make sure they're safe. If you had enough empathy to make sure somebody was safe and you loved them unconditionally so much, wouldn't you want to know the truth? The truth will set you free, y'all. I love y'all so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. And this is part 2. I appreciate you for tuning in. Please leave a comment. I love your comments, sisters and brothers. And learn from this situation so that you can better your own life. I have a lot of experience. I'm still learning. I got a big heart for my family though, y'all. I'll always have that because I want them to be the best that they can be. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.